Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the tips that you might want to consider if you're traveling for the first time internationally. These are the tips that I have wished someone had told me if when I was traveling for the first time. So, stay tuned and let's get started. So before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. And I am a food and travel freak, so if you love food and travels, then you definitely don't want to miss this out. So subscribe to my channel. The first advice that I'm going to give you guys is to choose a more tourist friendly spot. So let me tell you my example here. The first country that I have ever been to is China. And let me tell you, it's one of the most beautiful countries that I have ever been, and it's unique. It has some wonderful spots. You might feel like going again, but the thing is, you don't kind of blend in very easily here. Now, as a first-time traveler, the most important thing that you want to think about is to blend in as quickly as you can, because things will get weird when you land in a foreign country. Especially, it's very exciting. I was very thrilled to be there, but the moment you set your foot in a foreign land, you kind of tend to have this awkwardness, weird feeling if you don't blend in, especially when people start staring at you and look at you as if you're an alien. You really don't want that. And in China, one other thing that we have faced was no one spoke English, and very rarely we have met people who spoke English, and that was another thing that I have personally felt very uncomfortable, especially when I was traveling for the first time. But definitely, if you are a pro in traveling and if you have already visited many international spots, then China is a must visit, guys. None of these things are going to stop you. But if you are a first time traveler, then I'm not sure if you will be comfortable with choosing these kind of spots. But I would recommend you guys to choose a more tourist-friendly spot so that you tend to blend in very fast. And blending in is super important, guys, so that the more comfortable you get, the better. If you ask me now, I wish I was going to China like in the second or the third time that I have traveled internationally, but definitely not the first time. Definitely, I had people with me who were pro in traveling, and they were helping me a lot in all the difficult situations I have ever been. So I can't complain here. But even then, if you're traveling for the first time, choose a tourist-friendly spot like, say, Singapore or any spots in the United States and France, Italy, all those famous places. And you will kind of blend in pretty easily. So doing a research about the country that you're going to visit is the second most important point that I'm going to talk about today. It is pretty important because you will get to know about a lot of things, whether you're a hostel or a hotel person. So if you ask me personally, I'm not a hostel person, so I don't prefer staying in a hostel at all. I want a private stay, but not at the cost of pledging my own home for staying in a 5-star hotel, for that matter. What we would do is we would do a thorough research about that country and see what are the paying guest or rental places available for a very limited amount of time, and then go for a cheaper option there. Or if the hotels are cheaper, then we will definitely prefer a hotel. But if that is not the case, then we'll go for a rental place. But if you're a hostel person, then you can very much go ahead and research about the hostels available in that country and choose that. And you will also get to know how safe that country is. Let's get real, guys. Not all the countries in the world are pretty safe. Yeah, most of the countries in the world are pretty beautiful. You can get to see a lot of beautiful spots everywhere, but safety is not something that is guaranteed everywhere. So you can also do a research on how safe a country is before you even start traveling. You can book the flights early. This is really, really important, guys. I think I have already mentioned these points very detailed in my budget traveling video, so please do check it out. But booking a flight early is very, very crucial, because you can book a flight at a very low price if you book early. You can even book a seat of your choice if you want. And the next point is you can book your visa pretty early. For booking a visa, it is pretty important. I don't know if you guys are familiar already, but for booking a visa, submitting a travel itinerary is pretty very important. If you want to get a tourist visa, you will have to submit the entire travel itinerary, starting from the flight booking, places that you're going to see, to the places you're going to stay, all the receipts of the hotels that are being booked, the train travel that you're going to take, the bus travel that you're going to take, everything, all the pre-booked journey stuffs has to be mentioned. Everything should be submitted to the the embassy so that for your chances of getting a visa approved sooner. Chances are there that your visa might get rejected and you'll have to apply again and again, and that's a pretty time consuming process. You don't want to end up in that mess. Get to know about the do's and don'ts about the country. That is very, very important, guys. Each and every country has their own rules, especially when it comes to the tourists. The more research you do, you guys will get to know about the do's and don'ts about the country, and the more you know, the more comfortable you are. You don't have to really ask a stranger about the places that you want to visit or the best things that you can see in a country. And I say with most of the tourists, most of the amateur tourists out there is they'll visit a country without doing proper research, and they'll end up regretting that they were not able to see this spot, they were not able to see that spot. Let's keep it real, guys. 90% of the time, you're going to be visiting a country only once. You're not going to visit the same country again and again. I mean, at least not me. So what I would prefer is I would do a thorough research on the country about the best spots that I can visit, and then visit the country and be completely happy and satisfied and then come back, rather than going there without any pre-planning and then coming back and regretting that, okay, I didn't get to visit those important spots and I'm never going to go back to visit them again. So you don't want to end up doing that. So this is why doing a research is very, very important, guys. So I would advise all those amateur travelers out there to do a thorough research, especially if you're visiting for the first time, because the country that you're going to travel for the first time will be in your mind forever. So better do a thorough research. So the next important thing that I want to tell you guys is to have a Google Maps handy, especially the offline maps. Now, traveling without a Google map is like playing baseball or a cricket without a bat. I mean, it's as dumb as that. I'm being very blunt and straightforward with you guys. You have to have Google Maps handy wherever you go, because especially the offline maps. Now, I'm going to give you guys a glimpse of what we have been through. We were in China and we didn't have any offline maps handy, so we had to completely rely on the physical maps. And you know what? It was very hard for us to find a physical map that was where the places, locations were written in English. Even if it was written in English, it was really hard for us to steer through. And we had to even ask strangers who didn't know English, and we had to use Google Translate and stuff to, ask them for places, which was a nightmare. So I don't want you guys to go through the similar situation. So what I suggest you guys to have an offline map of all the locations handy, so that if you're stuck or if you don't know how to go from a certain place, then it will be easier for you guys to open an offline map and then steer your way through from that location using that offline map. The next point that I'm going to talk to you guys is always keep your important documents handy, and if possible, prepare a checklist for the same. As an example, say if you are traveling to an international destination and you're on the road to sightseeing, and suddenly a police officer comes by or an official comes by and asks you for your passport, and all you guys carry is this baby here, this giant baby here. Now, this is one such bag that one person carries when they travel internationally. Obviously, they will be, when you're traveling on an international trip, you will be, planning to, travel for 15-20 days, not 1 or 2 days in most of the cases. So mostly you'll be carrying a big bag like this, and you'll have to end up searching in this bag throughout and wasting, your time and their time. So you don't want all of that. And worst case, your bag, this big bag of yours will be there back in your room, and you will be like roaming around without even having your documents handy. So then you guys will be in trouble. So we don't want that. So please be clear that your passport, your travel itinerary, your ID proofs, all of these things are pretty important, especially when you are a foreigner traveling in another country. So like I said, prepare a checklist of all those things, and if possible, have a separate bag, a small bag or pouch like thing that has all these things handy. So because whenever you have to submit them or you have to show them, then you can quickly squeeze in and show to them, rather than wasting everyone's time searching for these important documents all through your bags. My next point is also correlated to this one. Have as many copies of your documents as possible. Now, this is also very, very important, because even if you lose your originals, touch wood, it will not happen. Even if you lose it, you have a bunch of copies out there that will help you out. And when I say copies, have as much of hard copies and soft copies of your important documents like passport, ID proofs, travel itinerary, etc., so that you don't end up being in a huge mess. Next point that I'm going to talk to you guys is make your mobile phones always reachable. Now, this might sound unimportant to you guys, but let me tell you something. You go to another country, the incoming and outgoing calls are gonna charge you a lot. So be prepared for that, and make sure you top up your mobile phones with enough money so that to make an emergency. Of course, I would advise you guys to not make any frequent calls to your hometown, especially when you're traveling, and it's advisable for you to have the sufficient amount available on your phone so that you can make any outgoing calls, or at least you have the sufficient amount to have an incoming call coming onto your phone, so that you can reach out to your family member or your friends in your hometown if you come across any emergency situation. Like, for example, if you fall sick in between, or if you have lost your passport, things happen. It's life. No matter how careful you are, things happen. So it's better to be prepared for these things. Have an emergency medical kit handy wherever you go, because you will, like I said, you will never know where you're going to end up with. So it's better that you have an emergency medical kit that helps you in different situations. Like if you are stuck with the flu, then you have a medicine for a fever handy, and if you are stuck with some bruises, then you can wrap it up with a bandage, and then you can move on. So that anything that can help you to get on with the travel without stopping it is the key. This might sound a little scary to you guys, but I'm not here to scare you. I'm just here to tell you the truth, because things can happen. In touch wood, nothing would happen to you. I don't want anything to happen to you all. Even with me, nothing bad has happened till now, but we would always look it in our hands to help us with any tough situations, and that will help us move forward without halting in that situation. So what we'll do is we'll have a list of things that we are prone to when we go to a country. For example, if you're going to a tropical country, tropical climate, then you can expect flu-like diseases a lot. If you're going to a cold climate, then you will end up having a lot of constipation and stuffs. So depending on the situation that you're gonna get into, be prepared for that and be ready for that. Now, this is really important, guys. Enjoy the situation, or enjoy the moment wherever you are. It is really important to let go of all the above things that I have just said. Although you have to be cautious about these things, but sometimes it is really important to let go of things and enjoy that place that you have been, because that might be your dream destination, and that might be the place that you want to visit for a really, really long time, and finally you are there. When you are there, you have to just stop stressing out and enjoy that moment. I would like to tell you my instance, an example of mine here. So when I was visiting China, I was visiting a beautiful place called Chittang Border Town, and I was overjoyed. I was really happy that I've been there, but somewhere down deep in my mind, I was feeling a bit awkward being in the situation, because I was having a hard time blending in. I was, like I said, way too into my head. I have realized that I have lost my phone. We ran back to the bus, and we searched everywhere, and we couldn't find anything, and it was stolen, guys. I was pretty sad for that whole day. I was literally banging my head, thinking like, why did I even travel? I shouldn't have done that. I'm not fit for international travel and stuff like that. But later on I realized that that's not true. It was day 2 of my travel, and by day 3 and day 4 I was actually very comfortable, and I was able to let go of everything and enjoy the situation. That's what I want you guys to do as well. Let go of all the negativities from your head. It's okay to not blend in at times. It's okay to be confused at times, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. And finally, you get to see a lot of beautiful spots when you are uncomfortable. And like I said, if you are a first-time traveler, please do follow these tips. And if you have any more questions apart from this, please do let me know in the comments below. I would be more than happy to help you guys out. And please do give your thumbs up and share it across with your friends. Thank you so much. Until next time, it's Sai signing off. Bye bye.